Hyderabad native to become only the third CEO in Microsoft's storied history. Satya Nadella had been up to now the head of the company's successful cloud computing outfit. He'll take the reins from the retiring Steve Ballmer, but neither Ballmer nor founder Bill Gates are going very far. They'll both be on the board, with Microsoft hoping to rebound after losing its tech supremacy.
He's been a Microsoft veteran for the past 22 years. Over the past 7 months, Satya Nadella led the company's cloud computing offerings, a new area for a company traditionally reliant on software installed on personal computers instead of remote servers. For Microsoft, an appointment from within is unlikely to shake things up.
The heritage that this company has is still very relevant. We have to renew it, we have to do new things, but at the same time, we should be very, very confident in our capability around software as it comes to these new experiences.
Nadella's appointment comes at a critical juncture for Microsoft. The company allowed Google to dominate online search and sat by as iPhones, iPads, and Android devices siphoned off sales of personal computers. The company's founder, Bill Gates, will step down as chairman, although he remains on the board and will stay on as technical advisor.
I'll have over a third of my time available to meet with product groups, and it'll be fun to define this next round of products working together.
While analysts see hope in businesses Nadella had a role in creating, he faces the tough task of distancing Microsoft from its Windows platform.
This is going to be extremely difficult for the new CEO to do because the architect of that strategy, Bill Gates, and the implementer of that strategy, Steve Ballmer, are sitting there in the boardroom.
Nadella is joining a privileged group. He becomes just the third CEO since Microsoft was founded by Bill Gates 39 years ago.
And we're pleased to be joined by Guillaume Gralet of Tech24 fame, but also who covers all things digital for Le Point. Thank you for being with us, Guillaume. You heard that analyst there from Colombia at the end of the report that we sort of spun the story the wrong way when the news first broke on Tuesday, saying that this is a passing of the baton. But in fact, Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer are still going to be around. Is it going to be easy or hard for Satya Nadella in that regard?
Yeah, that's a very good question because Microsoft is still a young company, less than 40 years old, but still, the founders' weight is still very important in this type of company. We saw that at Apple with Steve Jobs, of course, and Bill Gates, he said he will no longer be at the board, but he will spend 1/3 of his free time advising Satya Nadella. So when you speak about Microsoft, everyone thinks about Bill Gates. So Satya will have to show that he's the real boss, that he's got his own ideas.
Is Bill Gates capable of taking a step back and letting Nadella?
To my point of view, I don't think so. I would have guessed that Bill Gates would have come back. I think that would have been the best choice. Of course, you've heard about all the rumors of Alan Mulally from Ford, Stefan Ellop, from Nokia.
They definitely looked outside the company before picking someone in-house.
Yeah, and Satya Nadella has got some strengths, but I think the good choice would have been Bill Gates. And I think the best thing for Satya Nadella is to have Bill Gates on board.
So you think it's a good thing?
I think it's a very good thing, yeah, because Satya Nadella is very good on cloud, but the cloud and enterprise. But cloud enterprise just are 1/5 of the revenues of the company, and you have to make people dream if you want to address everyone in the street. And Microsoft was very good at PCs, was good at video games with the Xbox, but has not succeeded in the mobile phones and tablets. And you have to have someone make you dream. That's the case still at Apple, Samsung, but not yet the case with Microsoft.
You have to make people dream, you say. You saw Satya Nadella recently at a tech fair here in Paris. Did he make you dream?
Not really, because he's very humble, but I like that as well. But he's not the kind of guy that will break everything. The good thing with Satya Nadella taking care of Microsoft is he will have the support of people working at Microsoft, and there are more than 100,000 people working at Microsoft. Sometimes you don't know really who's doing what, and you will have to focus exactly and give a 10 years and 20 years vision on Microsoft. That's the big challenge of Satya Nadella.
You mentioned how he comes from the cloud computing division of Microsoft. Why is cloud computing so important?
We see that because everything today is on the cloud, and Satya Nadella
explain to us what that means, being on the cloud.
Cloud is information that you storage not inside your computer, not at home, not in your company, but in data centers that can be in Nevada, that can be in Iceland, that can be everywhere in the world. Satya Nadella has a very good answer that he made at Le Web. He said that everything is on the cloud, even information that you've got on your Xbox, for example. And because everything is dematerialized today. But another good point on Satya Nadella is he was born in India. You know, India today in high-tech company is a very huge point. You've got the best engineers in the world, thanks to Indian Institute of Technologies, thanks to all the background you've got in India, in the US. Satya Nadella likes to learn a lot, and that I think is a good point as well.
Yeah, and it was front page I saw in the Times of India this morning that it was Nadella the pick. It is a source of pride for India. What does it tell you about where tech is going?
I think tech today is being invented in Africa, in India, in China, which is to say the emerging countries, because you will face new needs of people, and especially on the mobile side, because in India, in China, many people will go to internet mainly first on mobile devices. And
because traditional infrastructure isn't keeping up.
Exactly. And if you have a quick look at Nokia, you know, Nokia has been acquired by Microsoft. And if you have a quick look on the recent launch of Nokia, for example, the phablets 1520 or the tablets, you know, Nokia just launched a tablet that can be huge for emerging countries because Nokia manages to do cheap products. So Satya Nadella has to keep the strong pace, you know, on the cloud because he's facing IBM, he's facing SAP, he's facing Salesforce. But on the same side, he has to face Apple, Samsung on the emerging countries. And because, and thanks to Nokia, he's got some really good things to fight for.
All right, so there are all these markets where there's still untapped potential. But there's, as you were saying earlier, Microsoft's image. Once you've gone up, there's only one direction you can go in, goes the saying. Can they rebound? Can they regain their luster?
They can regain if they play on Satya Nadella's force, which is to say cloud, as we said, but also India. You know, he met his wife 22 years ago at college. He's got a very...
In America.
He's got a very simple way of life. So he has to speak about all the new Microsoft customers. And, you know, Microsoft has got some huge changes as well in Africa. So I think he has to play that. Steve Ballmer was huge when you met with him, when you...
He was larger than life.
Exactly, but he didn't succeed in mobile and tablets.
And you were mentioning Microsoft, a company of 100,000 employees. Part of the job of the boss is to manage those 100,000 employees. And you were also saying at the beginning of our conversation how it's still a young company, but by tech standards, a company that's 40 years old, that's a dinosaur.
It's a kind of dinosaur, but Microsoft made some bad choices, we mentioned them, but some good choices. You know, it took 1.6% of Facebook, which is only 10 years old, and everyone knows the success of Facebook. And Microsoft has still the willing to win market shares everywhere in the world. The main issue for Microsoft is to be stronger than, you know, Samsung and Apple, but also Huawei and ZTE, you know, the Chinese people, and also Lenovo. We shouldn't forget Lenovo because Lenovo is the largest PC manufacturer in the world. They bought the IBM division of PCs, and Lenovo just bought the Motorola mobile division from Google last week, and Lenovo wants to be a big key player.
All right. We're going to leave it there, but you're saying is that there's still some life yet left in the company out of Redmond,
Yeah,
Washington.
I'm sure, but he has to invent things. He has to make things clearer. To be very short, a very good friend at Microsoft told me one day that they have an internal memo saying who's doing what at Microsoft because everything is being very complicated. Nobody knows who's doing what at Microsoft. At Facebook, they have less than 2,000 employees, and they're doing a great job. At Microsoft, there are 60 more larger. So he has to put things clearer. One key things on emerging countries, but he has to give a clear vision on the future of Microsoft very shortly.
All right, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Good words to live by. Guillaume Gralet, many thanks. Thank you for being with us. Stay with us because there's much more to come. We're going to have the weather next, and then we'll have business and all of the day's sports news. Stay with us.